Hey traders, Gavin McMaster here from Options Trading IQ, and today we're doing a deep dive into one of the most critical skills in options trading, and that is how to adjust an Iron Condor when it gets tested. Firstly, a quick disclaimer that everything discussed is for educational purposes only, is general in nature and does not take into account your personal circumstances. So first off, Iron Condors are a very popular options strategy that can generate consistent income in range-bound markets. But let's be real, markets are unpredictable. When price starts moving towards one of your short strikes, you need a game plan. Today, you'll learn 4 strategies for adjusting Iron Condors when they get tested. Before we jump into adjustments, let's quickly review what an Iron Condor looks like. Firstly, we sell an out-of-the-money call spread, and we sell an out-of-the-money put spread. The goal is to collect the premium while the stock stays within a specific range. Here's an example on NVIDIA looking at the December 20 expiration. This is a pretty typical setup for me, usually around the 15 delta on the short strike for the put and the 15 delta for the short call as well. You can see this one is skewed with slight positive delta of delta 3. Usually that's fine. Anywhere sort of around 1 to 3 is fine, or 0. However you want to do it. Sometimes you can skew them even more, to be honest. But this is a pretty typical setup. You can see we're generating close to $200 for the 2 contracts with $800 of risk. So that's a return potential of around 25%. So that's our initial setup. But let's now take a look at what we do when one of our short strikes gets tested. So what does it mean when we say a condor is tested? A condor gets tested when the underlying price approaches or breaches one of your sold strike prices. This could mean that the stock rally has threatened your call side, or a significant drop is challenging your put side. The 4 adjustment strategies we're going to look at today. First one is rolling the tested side, or the side that's under pressure. The second one is rolling the untested side, so the side that's not under pressure. The third one is looking at a delta hedge. And the 4th adjustment strategy is rolling out in time. So here I've set up an Iron Condor on Microsoft that we can see is clearly under pressure on the upside. Microsoft has rallied. When we started the Condor, Microsoft would have been in the middle here. We would have been around 15 delta on the short puts and the short calls. And the stock's rallied and the short call has blown out to a delta 32, 33. Now, a quick tip for you, you always want to adjust before you get to the short strike. You don't want to let it get all the way up here to 440 or 445. It's too late to adjust at that point. Very, very hard to recover the trade. And I've had numerous emails over the years of people with a trade like this, and they'll say, oh, my short strike's at 440, Microsoft's at 439, what do I do? Well, to be honest, at that point, it's very, very difficult to adjust. You've got to adjust before then. My standard rule is if I start at a 15 delta and the short strike gets to a 25 delta, that's when I'm looking to adjust, and generally no more than a 30 delta, right? Now, in this case, we've gotten all the way out to a 33 delta, so it is going to be a little bit harder to adjust. But let's look at that first adjustment strategy of rolling the tested side. So you can see at the moment there's about $310, $320 in premium remaining in the trade. What we're going to do to roll that tested side is we're going to buy back this spread. So that's a buy to close order. We can do that as one order. We close that one out, and we're going to just try rolling it up $5. So I'll add some new strikes here. So we buy this one back, and then we sell this one. Just wait for those prices to update. There we go. And you can see that's cost us a little bit of money. The premium in the trade was about 310, and now the premium's only about 220. So it's cost us a little bit of money to make that adjustment, but we've given ourselves a little bit more room on the upside. We've dropped our delta down to 23. So some of the pros of making this adjustment is, as I said, we've given ourselves more room to the upside, more margin for error, and a greater distance to our short strike. The main downside is that it's actually cost us to make this adjustment. And everything with options is always a trade-off. We've reduced risk a little bit by moving the strike further away, but as a result, we've had to pay a debit. We're giving back some of our premium, so it's always a bit of a trade-off. We've reduced our overall delta, which is good. And hopefully, if Microsoft stays sort of below 435, the trade's going to be okay. Let's go back to our original position. And this time we're going to look at rolling the untested side in. So in this case, we're going to buy this one back and we're going to roll it in closer. So let's add some more strikes here. Typically, if I'm rolling the untested side, I'm going to roll back towards that 15 delta that I started with. Here we've got either a 17 delta or a 14 delta, so I'd probably choose this one as the short strike. Now, typically when we're getting close to expiration, today's December the 2nd, we've only got about 18 days to expiration. Typically when we're getting down to the last 3 weeks, anywhere from sort of 14 to 21 days to expiration, I'd actually prefer not to do an attacking adjustment like this of rolling the untested side in, just because if Microsoft does reverse, then all of a sudden I'm getting under pressure on the downside as well. But let's take a look at how this one would look. We'd buy this spread back, and then we'd sell this one and buy this one. And you can see here we've generated some extra premium now. We've generated an extra $40 or so. It's going to reset this T+0 line. And we've also reduced our delta to a similar amount as if we had have done the defensive adjustment. But in this case, we've actually generated a bit of extra premium. So that's an advantage to rolling the untested side. We're generating more option premium. We're actually getting paid to make the adjustment. The risk, of course, is that we've brought our strike closer in. If Microsoft does reverse lower, now all of a sudden we're getting under pressure on the put side. I'll just quickly walk you through the cash flow so we can prove out the credit that's received. So if we were going to buy this one back, that's negative cash flow, 200, 2 contracts, that's 200 shares, and we'd have to buy it for about 78 cents, and the one we're selling is 59. So that's how much it's going to cost us roughly to buy this one back, maybe about $40. And then this one we're selling, so that's positive cash flow of about $85. So this is buy to close. This is sell to open the new spread. And this is the net credit. As I said, probably about $40, depending on slippage and commissions and that sort of thing. So 2 very different adjustment strategies, each with their own pros and cons. As I said, when we're getting closer to expiration, I'd be looking to play defense rather than an attacking adjustment by rolling the untested side. Now, in fact, that brings us to our third adjustment strategy, which would probably be my preferred method in this case, which is a delta hedge. So again, let's go back to our original position. And we can see we've got a delta of negative 15 overall on the Condor. Just get rid of that one. So what we can do, now this does require a little bit of capital. If we wanted to fully delta hedge this position, we could buy 15 shares of Microsoft. Now that's added a bit of risk on the downside because we're having to come up with the $6,500 to buy those shares, but we've completely neutralized our delta. We've flattened our T+0 very, very nicely, and we haven't given up any of our theta, or we haven't even impacted any of our other Greeks. The only Greek we've impacted is our delta. So this is my preferred method as we're getting closer to expiration. You can see we've really limited the risk on the upside now. If Microsoft keeps rallying on that T+0 line, we're not really losing much. Even if it goes all the way up to 440 and even above, we're not really losing too much. Now, I won't always do 100% delta hedge. Sometimes I'll do just a 50% delta hedge. Depends how much of that delta I want to remove. But let's say I've done a full delta hedge. The other thing you're going to want to think about is when you remove the delta hedge. Now, if Microsoft keeps rallying, you're going to want to hold on to the hedge. But if the stock drops back down towards the middle of the Condor again, so back down here towards 420, 425, somewhere in this range, we don't really need that delta hedge anymore. We sell the shares at a small loss and we continue holding the Condor and we try to get more time decay out of the Condor. So that's definitely my preferred method as we're getting closer to expiration. If we still had 30 or 45 days to expiration and it's quite early in the trade, I'd look to do one of the first 2 adjustments, either the defensive roll or the attacking roll. And the last adjustment we're going to look at is rolling out in time. So back to our original position. This is something I'll start to do. Again, once we're getting into that sort of 14 days to expiration, that's when the risks really start to increase. That's when I'm going to start to look to roll out in time. So if we were to buy back this whole spread, it's going to be, that was buying back our put spread, wasn't it? And then we'd also have to buy back the call spread. So it's going to cost about 310 to close the original Condor. And you can see that's the sort of premium line there, that 310, the current value of the position. So we close all that out, and then we're going to roll out to January. And we've got quite a lot of negative delta here. So the decision really is, do I roll back to my sort of standard 15 delta starting position, or do I roll it and maintain a little bit of negative delta? That's up to you, depending on what your opinion is on the stock. But for this example, we're just going to roll back to a neutral. Let's just add this one just in case. And we're going to see, we definitely, because we're rolling out in time, we want to do it for a net credit if possible, or very low cost. So we want to try and generate at least $300 in premium for the new position, because we know it's going to cost us $310 to buy this one back. So here's our new put spread. And then let's start with a 15 delta. And we'll change our expiration date. So here we're only getting about 210, 220. So that's not ideal. That's actually, we've rolled out in time, we've extended our risk for another month, and it's actually cost us a bit of money to do that. So here's the cash flow. So that's the put side, and then on the call side. So that's sell to open the new Condor, and the net cash flow in this case is about negative $90. So that's not ideal. So when rolling out in time, sometimes what you'll have to do, part of that's because we've left it so late to adjust that 32 delta, right? So it's costing us quite a lot to buy back that call spread, and we're not getting nearly as much for the new call spread. We could look at bringing it in a little bit closer. That gets us to about 250 in premium. Still a net debit of about $50 or $60. Pretty neutral, which is good. Now, what I would probably look to do in this case, in order to generate a net credit, is just increase the position size slightly. Go out to 3 contracts. And there we go. We have added a bit of risk to the trade in terms of the maximum loss, but we've been able to now roll for a credit. Here we are getting 300 now, and we've chosen the slightly closer in call spread as well. So we're going to change these numbers. Now I'm just taking the exact price that we've got here. It might be slightly less depending on what the slippage is like. Oh, sorry, that was the puts. I didn't need to change those ones. Let's do these ones. That's the puts. So that's our put spread there, the 263 minus 205. That's our call spread, the 297 minus the 227. And now we're getting a net credit of about $70, which is compensating us for rolling out in time. So 4 different adjustment strategies and a few little guidelines on when to use each one. Now, a couple of pro tips for you. Firstly, set price alerts for your short strike. When you initially get into the Condor, I would actually set a price alert quite a bit in from the short strike. If we go back to our NVIDIA example, I'm going to show you where I would set the alerts. I would set my price alert probably about here, about 145. That's about where I want to adjust, somewhere there, 145 to 147. Around here, again, a little bit in from the short strike before that T+0 line starts to drop away too quickly into the loss position. That's around where I'm going to want to adjust on the upside. If NVIDIA drops about 132, that's where I'm going to take some defensive action and do an adjustment there. So that's roughly how I would set my price alerts. I wouldn't set an alert at the short strike of 128 and 152.50 because I want to adjust before then. The second tip is to have a pre-defined adjustment plan. So try and have fairly strict rules about when you're going to adjust and how you're going to adjust. So decide in advance you're going to do a defensive adjustment, and what scenarios are you going to do defensive adjustments in, and what scenarios are you going to do attacking adjustments, what scenarios are you going to delta hedge, and I kind of gave you some guidelines there on each one. Number 3, stay disciplined. So stick to the process. Don't chop and change between adjustment strategies and styles. Try to be consistent and disciplined in how you do things. And know when to walk away. Sometimes a trade is just not working, and if you've reached your maximum stop loss, your dollar loss or your percentage loss on the trade, don't keep fighting it. Just walk away, move on to the next opportunity. where a lot of people will get into trouble is just continuing to fight losing trades. That ties up both physical capital and emotional capital, because losing trades can be difficult to deal with. They can stress you out. Sometimes the best decision is actually just to walk away. So in conclusion, trading options isn't about being perfect, it's about being prepared. And hopefully you've got some strategies now to be a bit more prepared with your Iron Condors and how you're going to adjust them. Remember, the goal isn't to never lose, but to manage risk intelligently and live to trade another day. Don't just keep trying to roll losing trades. As I said in the previous slide, know when to walk away. Make sure to check out all the resources in the description below. Thanks for watching and have a great day.